Haunted Bites, United States, Top 3. Haunted Spots in Arizona. Number 3. The Birdcage Theater. Notorious for bar fights and gunfights, Tombstone is the town where Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday fought the Clanton-McClory gang near the OK Corral. It is also home to the Birdcage Theater and Saloon, where a prostitute known as Gold Dollar discovered a rival working girl named Margarita flirting with one of her regulars. Gold Dollar promptly whipped out a double-edged stiletto knife and carved Margarita's heart from her chest for all to see. A century later, the stiletto was finally found and is now on display inside. So is Margarita, who haunts the Birdcage Theater, angry, lost, and wearing her bloody dress with a hole where her heart once was. Ghost seekers, guests, and others have been attacked, pushed, and even strangled by unseen forces at the Birdcage Theater in Tombstone, appropriately known as the town that's too tough to die. Number 2. The Jerome Grand Hotel, formerly the United Verde Hospital and Asylum, is where over 9,000 people died and is the most haunted spot in a town known as Ghost City. The ghostly spirits of nurses and doctors are still determined to help tuberculosis patients who wheeze and breathe heavily throughout the hotel halls. The third floor, where the operating room was located, and where most of the deaths occurred, is where the squeaky sounds of hospital gurneys are constantly heard, moving across the floor at 3 a.m., even after carpet was installed. Also, the ghost of Claude Harvey, a maintenance man found crushed by an elevator, is seen in the boiler room or riding the 1926 Otis elevator. Particularly active is room No. 32, where a former miner confined to a wheelchair climbed over the balcony railing, falling to this death, and where a businessman shot himself. Less frightening, many guests report the ghost of a cat, rubbing up against them and jumping onto their bed. Number 1. The Oliver House. In Bisbee, the Oliver House was home to miners and travelers looking for work, though many found themselves dead instead. Over 26 people have died, mostly murdered at the Oliver House. In 1920, a local miner, Nat Anderson, was in a torrid affair with a married woman, but her husband found out and swiftly shot Nat right between the eyes outside of his hotel room number 13. Guests who stay in room 13 hear phantom footsteps and have seen his apparition as well. In fact, a local radio DJ took a $100 bet, daring him to spend the night in room 13. The disbelieving DJ made a reservation, took the room key, and upon opening the door to room 13, found himself face to face with the ghost of Nathaniel Anderson. The DJ immediately left, returned the key to the front desk, and forfeited the $100. In the grandma room, an elderly woman who died there still appears at 2 a.m. in a rocking chair whenever the broken cuckoo clock chimes. She was a harmless, calm spirit, until some new owners removed the rocking chair and cuckoo clock as they prepared the room for their young son. Later, the boy rushed downstairs crying hysterically, saying an angry old lady struck him on his head. His parents didn't believe him until the next day when they found a large bruise upon his forehead. Most infamously, in 1932, a policeman caught his wife and her lover in bed in the blue room of the Oliver House, so he shot them both. Still enraged, he went on to kill 10 more people there before turning the gun on himself. In the blue room, guests now hear gunshots, disembodied voices, and the echoes of someone crying for help. Staff also find the furniture in the blue room mysteriously moved, even when the room has been empty. Thank you for visiting us, and don't forget to vote up and subscribe.